The college football season, and the one thing we know is that Alabama is very good. The Tide received every first-place vote in the AP and coaches poll this week. We thought Clemson was also a lock for the playoff, but then they lost at Syracuse on Friday. So right now, it's Penn State and Georgia ranked behind Alabama. FS1 college football analyst Joel Klatt with us. Welcome, Joel.
Good morning. How are you guys?
So what 4 teams would be in your playoff right now?
This is what's such an interesting question because the playoff committee and this playoff in general, they want you to take the 4 best teams overall. And I've got a very specific 4 if we're just talking about 4 best. And it doesn't really matter if they've won or lost, right? That's Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Clemson. Those are the 4 best teams that I've seen play football in college this year. Then
so
there's
you
the
project them out.
Well, maybe. I think we'll see how that plays out. Then there's the 4 most deserving, and I'm actually more of a deserving camp because I think that we should allow teams to earn something that maybe that their recruiting rankings say that they shouldn't have earned. Right? I mean, let's stop rewarding recruiting rankings and let kids just earn it on the field. So if you're talking most deserving, the resumes tell you that Georgia, TCU, Bama, and maybe Miami have the 4 best resumes in all of college football right now. So if I was rewarding that, that's what I'd do. So where do we sit? Somewhere in between. So who's my 4 playoff teams where I sit right now in October? It's Alabama, it's Georgia, it's TCU, and it's Penn State, who's kind of the 5th in both categories. And so they would be there sitting at that 4th spot. Those are my 4 right now.
Well, we're very close. I had Bama, Georgia, Bama, and Penn State. But they told me I couldn't. Bama.
They can't do it twice?
Yeah, they said Bama 2s is a part of Bama 1s.
You can't give them a bye in the semi?
Yeah, so I got Bama, Georgia, Penn State, Clemson. Wisconsin, I know people are like, well, what about Wisconsin? You hadn't beat anybody in the top 25. TCU, you got wins over Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. Okay, let's see how it plays out. But I think Clemson losing on the road, and then Oklahoma losing at home to Iowa State.
Don't remind me.
And Ohio State. So the Big Ten will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Because Michigan and Penn State and Ohio State and Wisconsin, all that'll take care of itself. What's going to be interesting is how they treat the SEC.
A 1-loss ACC champ.
Right.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Ohio State is a 1-loss Big Ten champ.
Right.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Oklahoma State or Oklahoma is a 1-loss Big 12 champ.
Right.
You got USC or Washington as a 1-loss Pac-12 champ, and Georgia sitting there. It's like, who are the other 3 outside of Bama?
What you got is
it's an incredible
you need
question.
18.
Wow, easy now.
Yeah.
I'll bring those arguments to you in November.
Yes. So I went you actually 2 better because I wrote down for my 4, Bama, 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 Bama. I don't see anybody beating Alabama unless, of course, Ain't Nick gives up like 50 in the championship.
Oh, stop.
Well, I don't know. He seems to every year. I don't know how he does it. But I'm with Joel on this. Alabama, Georgia, Penn State. And listen, I'm a Big 12 fan by birth. Used to be the Big 8, and I watch a whole lot of Big 12 football. So do you.
Yeah.
It's a really good league this year. It's even better and deeper than I thought it was going to be. And Gary Patterson is a really good college football coach. And once again, he's got a team that will smack you in the mouth. And they went up to Stillwater, Oklahoma, when I thought Oklahoma State was something. And we're talking about Mason Rudolph as a Heisman dark horse. And they did a number on those guys at that place. And that's when I said, wow, TCU's pretty good. And then they beat West Virginia, and then they won at Kansas State, which is no cakewalk for anybody. And TCU is legit.
Vanderbilt beat Kansas State.
Well, that was impressive.
And then Alabama.
They were ranked, Kansas State was ranked 18th.
And then Alabama hung 700 yards and 59 points on them.
Well, they do that to everybody. I told you. So, Georgia hung 50-something on Vanderbilt, at Vanderbilt.
Georgia is very
good. They're
I think that's the biggest surprise in college football right now, maybe outside of TCU. But Georgia, the fact that Kirby Smart in his 2nd year has got that program as essentially, you know how, like, remember back to high school, Shannon, where, like, the older brother was a senior and everyone's like, man, he's going to, wherever, Ohio State, or he's going to.
Don't ask him. He knows exactly.
Right? I mean, I grew up in a house like that as well. My older brother was a great athlete. And then the sophomore kid, you know, it's the younger brother, and everyone starts being like, hey, he might even be better than the older kid. That's kind of the way I view Georgia right now. Quietly, Kirby Smart has gone in there. He's put together a Bama blueprint. They've got great defense. They take care of their quarterback, a true freshman, Jake Fromm, who's playing really well. He's 6th in the nation in passer rating.
And that's the thing that I think can cause Alabama's problem because he can throw the ball. Now, Mel Tucker is going to get a job somewhere in college football, the D coordinator at Georgia.
He's a great coach.
He's a Nick Saban. He comes from that lineage. And that's the thing that concerns me because if you think you're going to line up in an I-back or a split-back set and beat Nick Saban by running the football, that's not going to happen. If you beat him, your quarterback will have to throw the football. He will have to play well. And if you look at the games he's lost, to Johnny Manziel, to Cam Newton, to Trevor Knight, and all these guys, what did they do? Deshaun Watson, Cardale Jones.
Keep going. The list is long.
Yeah, Chad Kelly
twice.
That's the list.
But here's the thing. They threw the ball. If you think you're going to line up in the I-back formation and say, okay, tailback, go get us 200, ask Leonard Fournette.
Listen, all I know is I was out on Georgia the day they said no to Shannon Sharp. That's when I said they said no. Am I right?
No, they said no to Shannon's grade. They wanted Shannon, but the grades had to come with it.
They should have just pulled a string and gotten you in. It would have changed their legacy.
No, but here's the thing, though, Skip. That was the year Prop 48 went into effect, and it was Georgia that got everybody in trouble with those grades. So they were not taking no Shannon Sharp. It worked out well. I mean, I went to state, had me a good old time.
But you would have changed life in the Southeastern Conference.
I mean, there's a lot of guys.
I thought about transferring to Miami.
Did you?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
And then my college coach said, son, we don't get players ready for other colleges. He said, if you good as you think you are, they'll find you.
And they did. Yeah. And they did.
In the 7th round.
They came and got you.
I don't know if you turned up enough for Miami anyway.
So speaking of Miami, by the way, so Miami's undefeated.
Yes.
That's fool's gold. That's a house of cards. I'm sorry to tell you, but the way that they're winning, their schedule down the stretch, that's not going to last. Just as an example, Texas A&M was ranked as the 4th team in the first playoff poll last year, fell off the face of the earth. Similar things can happen to Miami during the course of
they play Clemson though, right?
I don't
they're opposite
they
sides.
Play in the regular season, but they do play Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's probably going to win that game.
They have Syracuse.
They'll beat Miami. Wow. Watch out for Dino Babers.
Use back, baby. You didn't hear?
I don't know about that.
The use back.